Greetings, VShojo, and welcome to my cozy little corner of the internet. My name's Egan. I'm an IT nerd hailing from the Northeast Coast. I started down this route almost 2 years ago now, but even before that, I grew up watching YouTubers, Sly Fox Hound, The Creatures, Markiplier, so many others I've subbed to over the years, and even more recently to my newer found tastes for longer form video essays, provided by people like Nick Nocturne, Frederick Nuxon, Wendigoon. These days, I still always have some form of content up in the background, from videos to live streams, as I focus on my other projects. Roughly 4 years ago now, I met a nerd in a D&D server who decided she wanted to become a VTuber. She worked hard to find a model, and when the time came, I was there to help her out with stream setup and advice. I edited some VODs and stuff for her, I helped her upload to YouTube. Sometime later, her modeler fell ill and could no longer work on her design, so I chose to step up. I learned Blender in about the span of a month to help her with her latest debut. Sometime later, she decided she wanted to start getting her friends into streaming, and she asked if I had any interest in becoming a VTuber. As a way to repay me back for my video editing and modeling I've done thus far, she got me into a few PB and paid for my design work up front. I started streaming as a PNG shortly after, and about 8 months later, I finally got my model art. At that point, I already paid an arm and a leg for it, so I decided, why not learn to rig myself as well? What you're seeing currently was made completely by me. Model art aside, that was made by the lovely Altheria. And then, of course, that skill set evolved into me rigging more outfits, taking on some more commissions. At this point, I've done my model for 2D outfits, 3 3D outfits that were debuted, and that aside, a handful of whips that are just currently sitting by the wayside, waiting for me to finish them one day. More recently, I've done a model edit for Techie Cutie, some underwear to go with it, an animation for Gamer Subs for one of their new flavor releases, plenty of emotes I rigged for Casanova, and I'm currently working on a model for a good friend of mine. And when I'm not working on my various projects, I'm streaming 3 to 5 times a week to an audience of small creators I befriended and their viewers. I mostly touch upon indie games, the occasional new release if I can afford it, and various horror games. Notably, I have a love for horror. I grew up reading Goosebumps and various Stephen King's novels throughout the years. When the stars align, I try to schedule collabs with my fellow smaller creators.
Right. If
But
you
as it
look,
turns out, trying to get other
look,
creators together can be about as
follow this
difficult as
flag up
scheduling
and
for
kind of follow it
D&D.
a little bit
I had a
over
small
to the
group that
right,
was able to
like
meet
the
weekly
flag.
for some time to
So
play
a little bit to the
survival
right.
games
If
like
you look closely,
Raft and
you can see
Grounded.
where the
That turned
budget
into the
ran out.
occasional pickup game of Lethal Company, Helldivers, Sea of Thieves, so on and so forth. As our little friend circle grew and more creators joined the fray. Going forward from here, I'd like to make myself my own 3D model one day. I keep seeing all this new 3D tech being put out by creators like Suvi Drill for Vinian, Warudo, so on and so forth I'd like to play with. Maybe I'd even make myself a chibi VRChat model or something. And beyond that, with all the content I've made up to this point, I'd like to have more eyes on it, you know? Getting associated with a brand like VShojo would help put me before a wider audience. Perhaps along the way I can start earning more, so I can improve my setup, dump some funds into my stream. Maybe I can finally afford some of the newer games and titles that come out. As far as what I bring to the table, mostly free time. I would be able to be on hand for various projects and collabs if the other talents decide that they liked my vibe, help those around me out, and so on. Otherwise, I'd just be constantly generating content. Hopefully at a higher quality than before. I believe that's it from me. Not much more to add other than thank you for the opportunity to audition. I appreciate it. And thank you for hearing out us smaller creators.